Welcome back for more dojo adventures with my alliance. I'm FaithNo45 of Clan Annora, and we return to the stars chart for the second rotation of the dojos for the autumn 2024 Cross Save Dojo Showcase. This time around we are visiting the Windy City, a PC clan who won a silver award in this specific contest. And as ever, if you'd like to join our in-game alliance or join our growing decorating Discord, follow the link in the video description. We will be back for more tours soon, and until then, I hope you enjoy this in-depth tour of the Windy City.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another dojo tour. We are the Architects Anonymous, and today we're going to be touring a clan called the Windy City. They recently won a silver trophy in the recent dojo contest, and they are currently on the start chart for throughout the month of November. My name is Shauki from the clan Fortress of Lua, and I am joined by some of the fabulous decorators of the Alliance of Architects Anonymous, and I'll let them introduce themselves, starting with Faith.
Hi, I'm FaithNo45. I run the Alliance and also am the Architect and Warlord of Clan Annora. Evie, do you want to go?
Silence. Alright, screw. I am Evasandra. I am the Decorator and Warlord of Clan Cult of the Hidden Blade, and I wholeheartedly believe the term Decorator in the context of Shulky's intro does not apply to me.
Metal?
Hello, I'm Full Metal G. I am currently the one streaming on Twitch. I am FaithNo45's second in Annora. Well, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, might have to talk up, Matt, you're coming up quiet on my stream, but anyway. But cool. Right. Yeah. So yeah, we're going into the Windy City. Said Shulky explained them perfectly, so we're just going to head on in and kind of like show off their rooms and stuff like that. Mad Davos isn't with us today. Is this the first time we've done a tour without Mad? I can't remember. Oh, I've done a tour with just Bobe when we looked at the Children of Asgard, which was a great tour. So hopefully it's the same kind of thing. I physically can't remember coming into this dojo. They were featured on Primetime because one of our Alliance clans got showed off. The Sea of Titans on Primetime that just passed, I think, edition 415. And this, no, they weren't actually. I think they're shown off the week before. Never lie. But we're here now to kind of show off the dojo and stuff like that. So yeah. So again,
we can start with the spawn room.
Yep. Oh, Shulky, you also leading us down the rooms as well. I didn't realize that you was hosting as well.
Yeah, I've taken a look at some of the rooms already, so I've marked down like 3 or 4 rooms we can look at.
I'd say because Evie really, she was such an amazing host last time as well. Really showed us everything, told us all the rooms to go to. Yeah. Metal, you definitely in the Windy City, just making sure you're not in like Moxing Club or Fortress of Lua, right? You are definitely here.
Yeah.
Because this guy just goes on. He just goes on his own thing.
Why? Is it because you feel like people are missing, Faith? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see you guys.
By the way, Metal, if you want to do it for the stream, you can just drop into the void and you'll go to the console to view everything in decorating mode.
Yeah, it's like I don't see any of yous.
It's probably because we're in a different session. So the dojo's like to break up sessions.
Objectively, yeah, I'm still in my orbit.
Already off to a great start, Evie. Really showing
I have decorations to place.
The best use of the Alliance, yeah.
I had things to place.
But yeah. Right, okay, so I'm recording, so yeah, so you won't be seeing the whole Metal thing. Metal, when you're touring, by the way, just because I told Mad this on the last tour, just make sure you go to the decorating console and like just look at the builds and stuff like that. Just don't be running into walls and stuff like that, because when Mad was on stream, he was just like a kid on Adderall, just bouncing off the walls, basically.
Preview decorations, or is it
just go to decorate and it goes into the decoration cam, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is what I get for being in a tour with 2.1 decorators. Yep. Yep.
0.1?
So Fizz...
That seems a bit generous.
Fizz already does in my picture for chat. No, but Windy City doesn't mean that they're having a lot of farts. Fear, no. I don't know why they're called the Windy City. There's
Chicago.
There's no apparent law in here that says otherwise. So yeah. And Rayo, we have technically Evie is a decorator, and Metal has been doing our tours since the very beginning of the streams as well. So he's always more than welcome to come and join, especially when he's just running around doing his own thing, basically. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm going to recognize any builds from this. So again, I have no point of reference for anything in culture apparently other than Halo. So if people can tell me if they recognize anything from anything, that'd help, because this room, the spawn room, seems to be a really cool mech fighting a dragon from a portal. Again, so I don't know if this is from anything or it's just creative as well. But in terms of the actual sculpt in the middle, it mostly uses sentient pieces with overlaid Orokin pieces for a very good like Black Knight effect. Yeah, the proportions are very good. Nice little dress skirt and wings that come off of it. So yeah, Evie, this is something that I think is like a medium-term build. You know, we talk about like builds most dojos have, like with Gundam-style mechs. These aren't too difficult to like make if you get the body proportions right. I mean, just ask Grayo in the chat. It's hard to do legs as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and the sentient decoration, we're going to see that used a lot in this dojo. I've seen it in like 4 or 5 rooms, I think. I would say the harder part about this is more of the dragon rather than the mech, especially with the mouth and the teeth and everything. I think they nailed it with this one.
Is our glorious
My only thing is I didn't actually really initially realize it was a dragon. I thought it was just more rock. Like, it just blends in really well with, you know, the rest of the portal.
Yeah, I think that's on purpose, to go with like the design aesthetic. More of it is just a very dark room. So if I was mad, I would say that it's good to provide a contrast between your build and your environment. Like the dragon's cool, it does blend in, so it's almost like the tail of the dragon is what makes the portal, because if you actually look, it's actually like the tail of the dragon is underneath the head, and then it's almost creating its own portal. So I think they've done that on design to kind of like link the build together, basically, yeah. Which is cool. And then you have this cool Gundam style mech here. It is hard to do this kind of build because it's hard. I mean, the head is really cool. The head is actually really cool, and it's tough building with like one specific set of pieces. Like, so they've been really strict of just using the sentient pieces for this as well. So kudos to that. You know, the actual focal point in the middle. I mean, Shorky, I disagree. The Gundam style like mech is way better, just because it's got so many different orientations. The posing of the legs is different. There's more complexity with the mech than there is for dragon, which it's so we've said it 10,000 times right on streams. Dragon heads are both easy and difficult. If a dragon is done really well, it stands out because we see so many average, mediocre dragons. So this is very much in that kind of category, but it's hard to see good focal point mechs as well. So the scale is what's right about this. From the fingers to the blades and the swords that he's carrying is all very well done. Evie, how long do you reckon it would take you to build to this level? Yep. Seeing as you're building a foof shop at the moment, yeah.
Several decades. given my frequency in building, probably like the rest of my life.
That's cool, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see Mad build something like this. His mechs seem to be 20-piece Grenier things at the moment, so yeah. And he's not here to defend himself, so we can say what we want.
I just...
Yep. That's why I love it.
I need to get... I mean... I need to get better.
You do. Metal, are you there? Are you alive? I mean, I see him looking around the stream. Oh no, Metal, not you're Shorky. Yeah, Metal. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
I
here.
can hear them.
Yeah.
Cameraman focus.
Yeah. That's right.
Are these wings even attached?
No, they aren't.
Some Gundam anime, they're not. They just kind of like magnetically float there.
I mean, if this is from a reference that we don't get, then it might be reference accurate. So,
I mean, it reminds me of the Guardians from Halo 5, where they have all of the detachable pieces, as well. Which reminds me.
Well, yeah, but then that brings up the problem that is Halo 5.
Yep. And it also reminds me of the One Piece character, the clown that can just like detach all of his body parts as well and just yeet them around as well. I can't remember what their name is though. Yeah, please help me, chat. Yep. Apparently, it's a kaiju reference according to Rayo, but is kaiju just like an anime, or is it just a reference to a kaiju? I don't know. Anyway, right. So yeah, apart from that, the small little details that I always like to point out, I like the chains that link the island to the portal to kind of like tether the room to like the sacrificial pillars. So the tone and theme of the room is done very well. But the Gundam mech in the middle is what steals the show for this. So yeah, very solid build.
Yeah, and
yep.
Great room composition, great posturing for the Gundam and the Dragon, I would say.
Yep. The only thing as well is that this room would need a black fog because I can see the default fog in this room. Again, we are going to say this is a Moon Clan, so getting the shard black pigment as a Moon Clan must be a goddamn nightmare. So yeah,
yep. That's a ton of fog seal.
My condolences. Right, so Shorky, Tourmaster, where are we going next? This is on you now. Yep, you've taken over my role.
I think we should go to the third room.
Third room. Is that Godar?
My bad. Yes.
Yep.
It's almost weird not to hear somebody say something extremely racist.
How to fast travel with not the teleporter?
You go to the Q. You press Q
so
for the wheel and select the teleporter.
Are you using your keyboard metal for when you're playing on Warframe, or is it?
What was it again?
It's down on the D-pad. It's the third room, Godar.
G-A-O-Da.
Yeah. Godar,
yeah, that one.
Or Guaudar. Yeah, I'm really bad at that. Yeah.
Well, in fairness, none of us speak Chinese, I think.
Yeah. That's fair, yeah.
So what does the flip solve in?
At the back.
Yeah, just behind you when you spawn in, yeah. So let me turn off my
So yeah, again, this one is entirely made out of sentient decorations.
How do you turn off the location with something red?
That's because it's clipped into a wall. When you're doing constrained movement, you can't. You just have to find another item. It's because you're near that item. That's why, yeah.
But you can't turn it off, so you can like end the camera that would red.
Yes, you can technically. So if you press start, so if anyone's wondering how to turn off their HUD, so you go to start, you go to video, display, you go to interface, sorry. So it's the fifth one along, and then you turn off your HUD. And then you confirm it, and then what you do is when you go into decorator mode, so when you press decorate, you then tap an item outside of your boundary, and then all of your red zones disappear, so you almost go into like a film mode as well. So yeah, so nice and easy. I am watching Metal on his stream on delay. Yep. Just making sure he knows how to do it. Yeah, this is the...
On something out of...
Yeah, so when you press decorate, and then let's just say you hit... Do an item by the door. Do an item by the door, or that one there, yeah. So hit left on the D-pad metal, and it will go into constrained movement. Yep. So it's left on the D-pad.
Ah, okay. That's a lot better.
Yep. And then it removes all of the stuff so you can get clear... This is how I film, by the way. So, like, this is how everyone films their dojo, is by doing that, basically, yeah. Apparently, half your screen is cut off, Metal. So on your OBS, can you either zoom out or can you like fix your screen position because it's like slightly to the left, or unless it's in the middle? So it's on your OBS, so it should it should be the middle of the screen, yeah. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah. You just need to make sure that your the middle part of your Warframe where the cursor would be is in the middle, yeah. Yep. Yeah, just fix it. There we go.
That better? I didn't do it.
Yeah, you're doing fine. Yeah. Sorry. It's thank you very much for calling that in chat. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. Merge better. Yes. Good. Yeah. Just make sure that you're getting it. Cool. Said Metal's learning this for the first time, so Yeah, I'm teaching
Bear with
metal
me.
ways of streaming because my potato router. Oh, when I meet you in real life, it's just gonna be a rugby tackle. Yeah.
100% expect that.
Yeah. But yeah. Right.
All right, let's
Anyway,
get on with it.
we're back. God, this stream is for one of technical difficulties. So yeah, I just love that Evie and Rayo were going fighting in the chat about submitting their dojos for contests. I love it. Anyway, so again, it's like a Gundam style, like fighter mech, using the more sentient like light pieces, like the thrown pieces to like eliminate wings and body parts.
I do love the glow.
The glow is good. I have a controversial opinion.
Yep.
I think they're better without it. I think if you use them in select places, like the upper body, it would have been a lot better to accent it than covering the whole thing with it. Because if you actually look at it, you don't need them on every part of the body because it's very similar to the last mech we saw. It's not like these things have a... it's not like they're hiding bad parts of the build. I just think they take away from the overall shape of the build and kind of like odd for contrast. They should be concentrated to like one or two areas and stuff like that.
They feel almost
Yeah.
feathery to me.
A little bit.
Yes.
But I
yeah.
kind of like that.
It's a nice
Chicken
aesthetic.
robot.
There's no bad way of building. I just think that they could have concentrated them to like where there's more winged parts, like on the like the trouser flaps. I don't really know what they're called. Like and then like the upper shoulder wing parts where you have like the spiky points. That would have been better for contrast as well. Yeah, it's just for me distracting because there's nothing wrong with the build. It's a decent build. You know, very similar to the last one we saw. Yeah, just I think they just were going for something that kind of takes away from it as well. Yeah, I mean, because like it takes away from seeing the details. That's all it is. Yeah.
Exactly. They did a pretty good job, to be fair, in the other mech. They used them moderately, I would say, but here they just went ham on it.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Metal, Bobe's pointed out we're using the old Armada emblem now in the in your Twitch banner because the Armada's recently got a new emblem, so I'll update that for you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hi, Bobe.
To be fair, I like.
Yep.
I like how the environment contrasts the build.
So yeah, so you've got more of like a techie corpusy, like general tech aesthetic, and then like a more ornate black warrior and stuff like that. Like, so whenever I see builds like this, it's always like they're investigating it as opposed as a part of the build. So yeah, so
yeah, it looks like that scene from the Transformers when they captured Optimus Prime and they're just analyzing him. That's basically how it looks.
Didn't they capture Megatron in the ice and they're like testing on him, or am I thinking of another?
Oh
thing?
yeah, that one as well.
Yeah.
No, but like normally when they go back into their base, the Autobots also have their own kind of facility as well.
Yeah. Rayo in the chat, I think that it's not that the mask doesn't fit. I think it's that they've provided a contrast between a tech mask and then like a more ornate focal point. Because sometimes the difficulty of making a build with the same things you're using your mask out of is that it blends too closely to the environment. So providing a contrast where there might be a darker focal point with a brighter mask or vice versa is beneficial to showing off the build. So I think it's a design choice to kind of show both parts off separately. So I get it. So yeah, so it's just one of those things really. Because with my builds, I like having obviously like something architectural or something like animalistic or furry in the middle, and then more rocky cavey environments to kind of break it up. So yeah,
I'll be honest, I just don't like the mask.
it's
Like
okay. I mean,
personal
they covered
preference
it.
and all, I just think the mask feels very much like a mess.
Yeah, maybe that was what they were going for. To be fair, this is an inspirational hall. I think it was a bad idea to stick to the inspirational hall walls. Other than that, the mask could have worked well.
Yep. Fearla would like to point out they built a roof unlike Mad as well, so we'll give them bonus points. Yeah. Because Mad does love to cheat on his builds, guys. Like, that's his whole thing. He puts like 500% of his capacity into his focal point, and then he's left with like 40 for his room mask, so he loves to cheat. and he struggles making the backs of his things as well. Yeah, so it's everything you see at the front takes priority basically. Yeah, so he doesn't really finish his builds as much as he likes to admit. But yeah. But anyway,
again with this mech, we have.
What do you mean something? What do you mean something inappropriate? What have I said that's inappropriate?
I gotta show it.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, again with like the last build, these ones have pretty good leg and feet structure.
So yeah, so when I go in and new clans ask to join us, I always ask things like, are they making focal points? Are they masking their rooms? Are they trying to be creative? Are they trying to be unique? Are they not copying? You know, things like that kind of like show that the clan gets it in terms of it. So when I see builds like this, I'm not surprised that they are placing on the star chart when they've got focal points that are in the middle of their rooms, they're room masking, they're being creative. Like, that is the hallmark of good dojos that end up on the star chart, and then the only way that you then excel is by then maximizing your quality within those parameters to win stuff. So based on the 2 rooms we've seen already, they're doing all the right things to be a very good competitive dojo. So I like it. Yeah, if this was a clan that come to me and I'd never heard of them, I'd be very impressed first out. So yeah, like very, very, very good. Right, Shorks, Tour Master, hit us up with the next.
Directly the next room.
As in
Mie Shou.
Oh, is in the one next down, or are we moving?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Next down. Jing Mie Shou, the 4th one.
Okay, cool.
This one they didn't really do a mask, but it's probably because it suits the build.
So.
Ray, what are you talking about in the chat? Ask by asking, do they know how to enter a dojo?
No, it's always chaotic.
Oh yeah.
He has one joke and he's sticking to it until he actually dies.
I don't know what's going on.
Hang on, I need to get my washing machine.
But yeah, right. Where's the console in this room? Oh, there it is. You can really tell it's a moon clan when they're struggling with their pigments. It's just one of those things you pick up immediately. Being able to color the room is quite important. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say this build, it kind of reminds me of their spawn hall. It's like they had a mech, they had this build, and then they merged them 2 together to make the spawn room. It's kind of the same style, the same type of head, the same decorations for the teeth and the eyes and everything.
Very similar.
Still impressive.
I mean, you are allowed to make the same thing, but either better or different in another room in your dojo.
Yeah.
Some people love perfecting doing one thing. Like Fear in the Chat has obviously perfected doing shadow art, which is just using unfunded items. So he always has like a catalog of items he uses, so you can use or go along with the same types of builds. I mean, I have lots of very similar builds. I've used the same dragon head several times in the same build as well. So yeah, so if you have ideas, you know, like you can enhance the existing things you've already done or make them better again in another room.
Yeah, and for this I would say the style of the sculpt is good. The posture is decent, and I can see that the posture was their focal point here. That's what they were going for, but I don't think the proportions are quite good enough, especially at the back of the sculpt. The back legs are probably too small or too short in a sense, especially compared to the hands. It looks more like an orangutan hands, like elongated, right? I think they have a proportions problem here.
True. Yeah, apparently Fear has problems with lighting as well in the dojo. I think that's more the fact that the lighting keeps changing on his builds, like the villa. So yeah. Yeah. So with body, so the arms are massive, and then the legs are a lot thinner. So I think the legs could be bigger. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like if Mad was in here, he'd be saying, "Faith, you must like this build. It has no legs." So yeah. Yeah. No, the head is good.
That's the fault.
And the tail is decent as well. Repeating that decoration for the tail, I like it.
a staple of doing like infested dragons is pretty much using a combination of these pieces. I think the only thing missing is the embolism pillar, which is what Mad used to make his Razal Nazak in his one. So yeah, it's decent. I mean, this reminds me of I don't know why, does Fatebreaker have a very similar build in this room as well, but obviously this is very different as well. I don't know why I always remember the Fatebreaker one, but yeah, like very aesthetic in this. I mean, I would, again, with the contrast, the only changes I would do is enhance the room mask and change the colouring of the wall to provide a contrast for the build. I think they're trying to go for a more blended look in their dojo for like aesthetic, but yeah, it's still good to play around with aesthetic and room masking as well. By the way, chat, I think, yes, they very well could be a Storm clan that's moved up to Mountain. We just don't know. So they submitted as a Moon clan. So we'll take them on their word for it at the time being. But again, that's to say that they haven't built as a Storm clan before or may return at one point. So I don't know. I don't know enough about the clan to be able to comment. Unfortunately, so yeah.
Following on your point,
200 cap.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing that goes in their favour is a 200 cap room and a Moon clan would be believable, but it's also that they might have just seen that they only needed to use 200 pieces, so 0.1 in either column, to be honest. So yeah.
Following up your point about the context, I think the decorators here are conflating good context and masking with blending colors. They think like, okay, if I have to provide a good context, I need to have the same colors, I need to have the same kind of blending thing.
Yep.
But it's not really that the case.
Not really, no. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, I mean, you can think of a lot of. I think you have to think of a scenario, of a story for your build. That's how you come up with a good mask for it. It's not necessarily just picking the decorations that look alike and blend together.
It's more how people build. Like, so with Mad, for example, he likes to just build, and I'll say the same for Fear. They like to build most of their focal point before touching their room mask, because like Fear will dump 1400 capacity into the line arts that he makes, and then whatever's left constitutes the room mask. Mad does very similar with sculpting, whereas with me, I sometimes like building the environment either first or last to then like match with the build. So I mean, Bobe's are very similar to me as well. So we like building equally the environment and the focal point, and as long as you have a capacity and it works and it pulls off, that's all that matters. So it's just different schools of thought. And then there are people that just love environments and then they don't even bother doing focal points and stuff like that. But that goes against people if they're not doing well in contests. Unless what they're building is exceptional, they'll struggle if there's no like focal points, because guest judges are naturally gravitating towards dragons, sculptures, mechs, you know, like that stand out and are more technically complex than placing trees down, in my opinion. Yeah. As well, yeah.
For me personally, it really depends. I start with a scenario in mind, with kind of a story with my build. I think you can see it from the last tour, if you remember. I have kind of unique builds because of it. I always think of a scenario I want in my head, and after that, whether I want most of the detail to be in the environment or the sculpt, I start with either one, depending on the scenario I have in mind.
True. I said everyone works different. That's the best thing about the dojos. So yeah.
Yeah. That's why we have so much variety, which is great.
Yeah. What do you think, Metal and Eevee?
I mean, I kind of like it. You know, the lighting does suck, but I mean, there's only something you could do.
Just, I feel like this feels like it wouldn't be that hard to make. Not necessarily, like, in regards to posing and stuff, sure, that's not what I'm on about. I just mean in regards to, it like, the pieces aren't complicated.
No. Well, most of it is just using rotations. That's all it is. So I think it's using just one piece, which is the infested creature claw, and then he's just, or whoever's built this, have just done it in a way where they've just used one piece and then they've just rotated it at different sizes to create arms, legs, tail. Simple as.
There's a few other pieces in here, but it's mostly just the creature claw.
I mean, objectively, it isn't a hard build, and I would agree with Ryu in the chat. It isn't a hard build. It's still a cool build because I think so. with a lot of sculpts, sometimes the sculpts look good if you're able to blend the pieces together, which is why some people just use 1 or 2 pieces to make the entire thing, like this build as well. So it is a really good archetype way of, like, if I had to challenge a new decorator to build like something and use as minimal pieces as possible, this would be a good example of doing so. So yeah, no, it's decent. Really good. Just the lighting of these rooms is odd because, yeah, it's just the infested hall as well. Although I love the infested hall lighting if you get it the right way, if you have the right polychrome. So yeah, nothing but love for this room. But hey, I know what they're going for. Also, it could just be that they just built the dragon was like, well, the room's already masked, so I don't need to do much more as well, which I think is the case personally. But yeah, right. Anyway, folks, let's jump on to the next room. Shorky, tell us where
We've
we're going.
already seen Mei, so we're jumping to King Long Da Ting.
Cool.
Where is that one?
It's number 6 or 7 on the teleport. Number 6, yeah.
Number 6.
So it starts with Q. So Quing Long Da Ting.
Ooh, I like this.
Is this no? Oh, it's another.
I'm gonna stay in my Warframe for this one.
It's in another inspiration hall. Yeah. Let's have a little look at it. Yeah, these guys like dragons. By the way, Rayo, I don't think this dojo is from Crazy Guy. Like, no disrespect to anyone here, it's not from Crazy Guy, no. Starfield was, and so is Crazy Prime. But,
Crazy Prime, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think this one is, yeah. I mean, he can't take credit for all the dojos, okay? There have to be other builders. Oh, we're actually using ice.
Oh, by the way,
Shorky.
Faith.
Yeah,
is this ice?
I literally wanted to get ahead of it before you said anything. Yeah, I just noticed what they used for scales. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Which makes it a shame that they didn't use the polychrome to actually color the dragon.
It is coloured. It's like blue. So it's using like nanite blue or charger blue, and then they've changed the accent to be darker because the ice is quite white when it's placed. So it's definitely charger blue.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah. So this has been coloured blue. Yeah. It's just that. So when you do ice sculpting, the way I showed in my tutorial, if you make the accent, the accent is what colours, the middle option is what colours the ice, and then the top option key changes the tone of the room. So if it was a default key at the top, this build would be a lot brighter, but they've used a medium toned key to tone down the whole room, which is why the ice appears a bit darker. So that's why. So yeah, I mean, you can see it clearly as well. I mean, it's smart. It's very smart. I do like it. I mean, it's that it also looks like scales as well.
I think it's also a reference from something. That's hence the colors.
It's a dragon again. I have no references in my mind for anything like this. The problem is with dragons, it's so hard to know what is and isn't a reference because they could have just been creative.
Yeah.
Like my Blood Leviathan that uses ice similar to this is based on nothing other than just some art I found on Pinterest.
To be fair, it could also be like inspired by like Shenron or something.
Yep.
I would say it's a shame they didn't. I would say it's a shame they didn't cover the entirety of the room, but considering they have 0 capacity left, I can understand it.
Well, yeah. Like, have you seen how many of the ornate Orokin things they've used? They've used hundreds of them, then hundreds of ice pieces, hundreds of tree pieces, and then they've made like.
Only thing I would say there is some needless fire volumetrics. Other than that, yeah.
They're using the 2 cap ones though. It's not like the regular fire, so it's the jets of flames, and they've just isolated the tops of them. So they're not like the 20 cap fire ones, which are a lot different and smaller. So yeah, they're just the end cap. So again, I don't think there's too much capacity. Most of it's just going to be on the fact I can count hundreds of pieces of just each type. I mean, the patience alone is good. As well, and it's also proper spot. I mean, again, if we're talking about builds that are achievable in the dojo, for Eevee's reference, like something like this is very achievable because all you have to do is slightly rotate each part and then just keep going along and make a spiral or snake and stuff like that. Like, it's a good way to learn how the rotations and snappings work as well. That's why I think people gravitate towards snakes and like Wyrms or Leviathan style dragons is because they don't have arms and they're just like one long coil that you just like bend around, basically. So it's easy to kind of figure out the shape. Yeah.
And you can tell they started with that. Yeah, exactly. And you can tell they started with that Orkin energy conduit kind of circular decoration, and they were like, okay, I want to make it interesting. So what can I do?
Metal, I've just noticed on the stream as well, you're being called out for having your character shadows on, so can I ask you to turn them off for me, please? Thank you.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh!
Yeah, God, what a noob. Yeah, if you go to options and then you go to display, which is the 6th one across, if you scroll down, character shadows are 5th from the bottom. That one it's display, so it should be the one with the TV screen with the play button on it. Yep. And then 5th from the bottom, character shadows.
Anything else I need to turn off?
No, just that. That's fine. Yeah, character shadows is basically what causes the needless shadowing. You'll notice immediately when it's turned off that it just kind of like mutes all of the colors together. So you can actually see all the details. I mean, there's a few builds that work with character shadows, but the problem is if you're using like a 1600 cap room and you're like filming the room, the light changes all the time and it starts basically like spazzing your camera out with all these different lightings where it's just like the shadows just erratically just start popping on everything. So it's a nightmare to film with it on. When I filmed Bobe's Callus Galadhon from Lord of the Rings and he had character shadows on, it was a nightmare. That was actually the worst filming experience I've ever had. And he was insistent on me having it.
Is that better?
Yeah, much better, yeah. Yep. It looks like my screen now, so you're good. So, yeah. Very good. But yeah, no, good build, solid. Again, by the way, focal point, they've gone for a room mask. Again, in terms of like build structure for things that, you know, like win people contests, they've got things like, you know, they've got the things that people win contests with, so yeah, that's good. Right, moving on. Where are we going next, Shorks?
Yep. The next one is the 7th one on the list, which is Tian Shen.
Tian Shen.
And we can already see a pattern here.
Yes.
It's almost like the exact same build.
Very much so.
Doc Gundam.
This thing's huge.
This must have been built after the first one, because this one looks significantly better. Yep.
Yes, the console is at the back where you spawn, by the way.
I'm just going to yeet myself off. It takes me there, yep.
Bobe Gaming said in chat, I build with character shadows on clown face.
That's right, yep. He causes me issues building.
Actually, Metal, I have a setting you could turn on.
No, not bloom, not gloom. Nope.
It's not any of those.
Oh, I don't actually know if I have those on or not.
Are you on?
You can keep gloom
your
on to
phone?
15%.
Is it Apple or like is it an iPhone or is it Android?
Android.
Thank God. Go into your settings.
On my Android settings?
Yes, your Android phone settings.
Feels like she's trolling you. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. She's laughing too.
Yep.
I don't want to do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it, yeah.
It's not even that. There's just way too many steps to what I was going to ask.
And it's not related to the dojos, so yeah. I'm going to get me 6 to time you out, so yeah. There we go.
Don't try me.
Yep.
Yes, do it.
Right, so yeah, so again, the chat's pointed out it's basically the same build again.
Yeah, but there's a couple of very cool details here. I think the Guando Prime is done very nicely. The weapon looks very cool. And I also like the dragon wrapping around, especially the head. It's all right, considering it's used the same decoration.
Played cool. Played very cool, yeah. I think the scale is a lot better, and I just generally think the aesthetic is better. If we're just going on, because this is an improvement on the spawn room, the hand is better. I think having the dragon arcing around that kind of blends in with it is quite cool as well. And again, I think the back attachment is like a weapon or it's an attachment because it's actually linked to the Gundam. So it's almost like it's wings or feathers or like an idol of some kind powering it or whatever. Yeah, I think it's just an extension to the original build, just in a different format as well. Again, it's easy to build the same thing if you've already done it, and then just try and make it better the next time. So yeah, no, very solid.
The only thing I can criticize maybe is two things. The head is maybe a tiny bit small. It could be a bit bigger, and the fingers look weird because they're made out of one decoration.
Yeah, I may use this room as for cover photo for the tour as well. I like this build.
Yeah, this is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Again, only 5 cap remaining, so.
It's probably because they've used a bunch of atmospherics in this room as well, that I'm noticing as well. Are the feet good? You know what? I'll give it. The feet are good. They've got claws on them as well, yeah.
Feet!
Yep. Well, you like good feet in the Architects Anonymous, yep. Yep.
Yeah, like a hand tutorial. Where's the feet tutorial?
That's a good question. Yeah, Mad can do the hand tutorial, I'll do the foot tutorial, yeah.
Can I get a picture of those mech feet?
Yep.
Like that's not even a joke. I feel like that could actually be useful.
Yep. We can call the video only mechs as well, yep. Sell them there, yeah.
Yo!
Yep. Yeah. Right. I mean, I don't really have much more to say on this because we've seen this room already in a different form. I just like to point out it's a better version of their spawn room. And they've kind of, again, combined the other mech we saw's like energy details coming off of it. So, yeah. But no, very good, really good.
Give me a second, my cat's put my glasses in the bin.
Perfect. Sabotaging you, Evie, I love it. Right. So, whilst Evie sorts out a midlife crisis, where we're going next.
Sorry.
Yep.
Speaking of feet, we should go to the next one, which is Zong Quan.
Why can't I hear anyone? What's going on?
I can't wait for chat to already say it's the same build.
I cannot hear you.
Build. Look at it. Just a different.
He's just got bigger hands. He's got more hands. Yep.
Bigger hands, bigger feet, bigger everything.
Big arms.
And you know what they say about big feet? Yep, and big hands. Perfect. Where's the console in here? I have to eat myself.
You have to eat yourself out this time.
Yep. I think. Oh, actually, hold on. I'll have a look at the mask in this as well. It actually looks a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, the mask is quite cool. Like, they have a setting for it.
Evie, hold on. Evie, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Just making sure, yep.
Yeah, this is what I mean when I say having kind of a scenario or a story for your context. Like, you can actually see that the environment is cool because of it.
It makes more sense.
The door at?
Just eat yourself off.
Exactly.
Yep. And then you spawn next to it, yeah.
I keep forgetting to do that.
Yeah, it automatically takes you to the open space, yeah. Like, whenever we go into the Crazy Guys dojos, he has a way of covering up his consoles, yep.
When you hit decorate, how do you get out of the stone?
You press...
try to move one of the decorations.
So, yeah, so you press left on the D-pad to go into constrained movement, and when you press constrained movement on an object, it makes it almost like transparent, so you can go through it, and then you just, like, tunnel your way out like a gopher, basically, yeah. And then you just do the same thing again, yeah. Metal, it's like you've never looked at a dojo before.
I haven't. I was not running around in my Warframe.
Yep. Very true, yep.
Something I love about this sculpt in particular is how the pieces for the hand, especially like for the arms, kind of, you can see almost the muscle of it in a way.
Oh, like the tendons, yeah. I'm just having a look.
Yeah.
Arm proportions.
They really clipped these decorations.
Rayo, were you watching this? Arm proportions. Look, joints and elbows.
Yeah, they're pretty spot on.
I like it. Yeah.
Hands as well.
The
only thing I don't like is
so the smaller hands that would be his actual hands are a lot better.
Yes, exactly. They're perfect.
They're good. Yeah, very good hands. Very good hands, yeah. And again, they've not used too many pieces to get it, so it's good. The bigger hands, I think, suffer from the fact that they've had to upscale it, and they look a bit warped because of that. And I don't think they've got the lower arm proportions that look tiny on the forearm as well, so yeah. But again, they'd be massive otherwise.
I still think it works because probably the bigger hands are probably supposed to be some kind of an attachment to the main body. So I still think it works. I don't think it ruins the build.
Yeah. See, again, if we go through an evolution of someone trying to get better at a build, for the spawn room, definitely was the first one they did. Then for the second one, the other build we just saw was probably their second iteration. And then this one is like, so far, the apex of that build evolution, like a dojo Pokemon build evolution. This one's a lot better than the others. They've like learned from their mistakes to then do it each time round.
Which is the story of all of us, to be fair.
Yeah. Evie's got to get to that curve yet. Good details is I like the air skates that they're on, like the sentinel drones that they're like gliding on. They're really cool as well.
Yeah, and I love the posture. How the hands, like when the small hand's going up, the bigger hand's going down. The posturing of it all and everything. The head looking like it's looking at its own hand, tilted slightly. The posture is just perfect, I think.
No, it's good. It's good. Feel like to point out they're just one finger hands, but they've done it well, regardless of what we think of it. Sometimes if you're making an item like this or a build like this, and if one item can fit, in an instance, there are cases where one item can do the job. You don't need to then, you know, what is it, like overthink the problem as well, because like at the moment I'm building Evie's raffle winning build, and I've been hating building the hands for the love of God. This build Evie is causing me nothing but hell, and
you know, I'm glad it took you long enough to do it.
And I'm using certain pieces to do it, and it's just a nightmare. So if you can get hands and feet looking good, it's just a win, because most people don't know how to sculpt them. So yeah, very good job on this. This is actually probably their best build so far, in my opinion. And I just like as well, again, they've actually tried to actually make a more comprehensive mask with levels and tiers as well. Obviously it's a bit empty due to the capacity probably screwing them over in the end. Again, we want 3,200 cap.
They have 334 capacity.
Oh, they do. Well, they can flesh this out then. I take that back.
Yep.
Yeah. But no, I like that there's depth to the room as well, because the build and the mask both look as tall as each other, so it's good as well. So yeah,
it's pretty good.
Very good. Metal thoughts? Well, Metal's dead.
The big foots that look like sentinels from Halo 3.
They kind of do, yeah. I think there's tons of Gundams though that have those type of things in anime as well. So yeah, it's a really good concept. They've got a lot, yeah. Again,
the only thing I can say is, as a Mountain Clan decorator, my heart is suffering due to all the Oxium spent in here.
Okay, last two messages in chat have basically just been slighting me about just like ice being one item, which again, there's 5 types of ices, I'll have you know. And then Ray just said, I just can't get things looking good. So, I mean, yeah. You're not wrong there.
You just want to talk.
Oh, Evie, calm down. Well, he's not here because he didn't win first or fourth. If you're wondering why Rayu's still not on the tours, it's that he didn't win a podium place on the contest. So we're honouring the deal we made live on tour. Yep. Right. When has Faith more builds in Evie's dojo zone? It's just the raffle build I'm doing in there. Yeah. So I've been working in there. Don't you worry. It will be revealed soon when I figure out these goddamn limbs. Yeah. Right. So again, very similar to the last build. So we'll move on to the next one. Shorky, hit me up.
Yep, the next one we're dropping quite down. It's if you're scrolled all the way up at the list, it's 4th from the bottom. Zhu Jian. It's not that much of a complex build, but I think it's worth a look.
4th up, so I have Wu Shen Dian. Is that right?
No, it's like if you scroll up.
Oh, scroll up.
In the list, now it's like, and then it's the 4th from the bottom.
Zhu Jian? So just J-U-J-I-A.
Yes, Zhu Jian.
Okay, cool. You could have just said
that. Yeah, that's the one.
We can read.
I can't.
Well, that's evident.
See, it's just Evie accessibility.
Well, to be fair, after the fact she couldn't read the intro script I gave her. She's not wrong, yeah. Oh, she's not wrong. Building a garden.
Yeah, it's a smaller one, yeah, it's in the garden, but I think the sword is it's pretty cool.
Building a garden. We haven't looked at a garden build in a while, you know, since IK Project Spectrum tour, so yeah.
Since the roasts, basically.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. We had the Aquatic Guardian during the Phoenix Retribution tour that DC made, which no longer exists, by the way, because Mad chickened out of having it in his dojo anymore. So yeah. Wonder if Mad's watching the tour and he's just sitting there fuming, hearing all of that. Yeah. The legacy of his clan's ruined for getting that build. Yeah. So this clearly is a much older build because it specifically uses like starter decorations. So just like to point that out. Sword. So you've got energy going through the middle. I mean, you can tell it's been done all freehand because nothing really lines up with itself. You can tell for starter decorating like principles. Yeah.
Rio said in chat, joke of the hidden builds.
Joke of the hidden builds. Evie, when have you two been at war with each other? Well, why is she going
Never,
after
he just
your
does
clan?
this.
Yep. Yep.
The Bobe said he's seen so many builds.
To be fair, I have seen this as well. Like, it's easy to do a
Is
sword
it a
like
thing?
this. Yeah. It's like, there are so many archetypal dojo builds. IBC swords, dragons. Well, it's the infested dragon swords. Like, attempts of Japanese houses. What else, Shorky? What else? God. Oh, libraries and churches. I see a lot of, like, internal ones.
In the PC dojos, you see phoenixes a lot.
Yeah, we do, yeah. I'm just trying to think of the other archetypal builds. I think that's really it at the moment. But the thing is, people like get influenced from each other quite a lot in the dojos, because if they see it's possible, they then go, oh, I'll do something similar. Or they just take from the existing
Or
plan.
they look at something and be like, that's so cool that I want it in my dojo.
Yeah, basically copy builds as well. Like, I mean, I'll reference Vash here again. Like, the amount of Vash builds, not just from being Destiny or whatever, but the amount of Vash copied builds is crazy. Because he's
It's ridiculous.
Destiny.
yeah.
Especially that Riven build. I see that all the
Is
time.
it the King's Chamber? Is that the one? Where you've got the guy at the end in the open space, like the Tempesty brown
People.
colour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his name is, but yeah, that room I've seen in 12 dojos. Again,
Oryx.
that's it. Yep. But again, I didn't play Destiny 2, so yeah. Destiny 1.
It was in D1.
Oh, was it I've really phased out all my memory of D1. I was so
King's
angry
Fall
with
was
it.
D1.
I was so angry with it. Anyway, yeah, we've seen it in a lot of dojos. I don't really want to say much more than just it's a cool concept. Just, yeah. Like, again, I like the living atmospherics of, like, the rocks coming out like it's somewhat animated. It's just there's so little you can do with a garden.
That's a cool touch.
Yeah, cool touch to have the animation going through, but yeah, there's not really much to say about garden rooms like this because of small cap and stuff like that, so yeah. But I do like the Sagatra on the handle. Like, I like trying to, like, have little details that link to the game as well, yeah. And a lot of people
Honestly,
do that,
I would
yeah.
rather if they used that animated, infested kind of red thingy. It looks more like a ribbon.
The infested foliage is what it's called, yes. I
Yeah,
use it a lot
that
in
one.
my sea builds I make with in my Subnautica rooms in the Armada. So yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you also used it in the recent dragon build you did.
Oh, the Blood of Farthing, yeah. I mean, mostly
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
I got that from Quincum because they used it on their dragons, which is pretty much
Yeah.
what I was inspired by. So yeah, but I didn't copy because I made a completely different build. FYI, if before people start getting down my throat. Anyway, right.
You know, I'm not even going to
Anyways.
say anything about that.
Perfect. Right, let's go.
We have 2 more rooms to go. The next one is, let me check. It's Wu Shendian. Yep.
Oh, yep. So it's the one we was in. So yeah, 4 from the bottom now for this one.
Yep.
Oh, this I saw it. They've definitely showed this off on primetime recently. I just can't remember what version it was. Yeah. We're in another. We've gone to all their 3 infested halls. Sorry, they're in their 10-0 inspiration halls. That's it. Yeah. It's crazy. Right. Oh, it's on the other side. Of course it is. Have they blocked off their console in here? I think they blocked it off. They have.
I mean, they've blocked it off almost in every open space. The only way we could access it is by dropping off, basically.
Yeah, but in an inspiration hall we can't though. So we're just
Yeah,
going to
exactly.
look like normal people. Yes.
Over here.
Ugh.
Over here. here to the right.
Oh, yep. I'm following. I'm following. Oh, it's actually there. Yeah. Okay. Cool. That was me being a dum dum. I found it.
Yep.
Thank you, Meetil. You're getting better at this. Right. There we go. Yeah.
I actually quite like this one.
Rayo said in the chat, the big Windy City text is annoying. And
yeah, agreed.
Yes, because you know you're in the Windy City. Like, yeah, I mean...
It's as annoying as, like, a, what do you call it? A watermark on a picture.
A little bit, actually, yeah. Like... I mean,
That's basically what it is.
Then again, maybe it's because they're worried about people copying their builds, and if people print screen or take their builds, they can say, well, look, ours has the Windy City right on the middle of it, yeah. Because I do a lot of photography, so...
It doesn't help with copying, though.
Yeah. Well, you know what some people are like. You never know who's copying what in what dojo. It goes on a lot, so yeah. So they've left a watermark, yeah. I've actually tried to do something different with this build. Again, just using sentient pieces. They've used the sacrificial bridge pillars as like red wings, which isn't the worst use of the item.
Yeah, just giving it a feathery vibe, yeah. It's giving it a feathery vibe.
That's better than some of the feathers of the other builds we saw. That gets across the aesthetic a lot more because if they're actually pointed out like feathers. I much would prefer if they used that in the second mech room we saw where they covered with all the red lights than that, yeah. Also, they have the lights on them as well, and it's just less subtle so that you can see them like blinking through here, yeah. No, it's decent.
Credits to them, I don't think I've seen this specific decoration used as feathers before.
I guarantee I've seen it before. This isn't the first time, so I'm not going to quote that, yeah. I've definitely seen it before in Clan, so I'm not going to say that they're the originators of it, yeah. I just can't remember the specific builds off the top of my head that I've seen it in, yeah. I'm sure crazy guys use it. There's wings in one of his builds in 12 Olympians, I'm convinced of it. But yeah.
I would say they still have a problem of blending colors. It was hard for me to distinguish the throne at first.
It's so this is the problem with overblending. Like, it is a bit of a mess. I don't really... Again here, this would have been better in a nature setting and then building a throne that's different coloured because they've used velour rocks and it's hard to distinguish it. So it just looks like a big clump. Really. I don't want to be harsh on the build, but it's very blended, which is why the wings stand out because they're separately contrasted to the rest of the build. So, I mean, this probably would have been done earlier because, again, without the teleporters numbered to tell us what's the latest builds, we can only assume it's one of their earlier builds. I mean, it's just one of those sentient builds that they've used just to fill the space, pretty much. Again, so I can't fault Principle. So Principle is room masking, focal points, trying to bring colour and life and energy to the build, which they've done is at that point of which scale of equality they've done it at. This isn't one of their better builds compared to, say, the evolution of that one mech we saw, which is significantly better. So this is just a bit more lazy than those builds because they just use the same like sentient totem, these pieces here that have like the weird like dog head that I always call it. So yeah, nothing wrong with the build, just very lazy in my opinion from builds. Like, and we encourage people to build with more conviction to contrast your focal points to your environment. That's pretty much it. But yeah, it's a good build.
And I mean, I think it's probably because most decorators, especially newer decorators, fall into the trap of just sticking to one catalog of decorations. Let's say they stick to the infested or the sentient ones, and they think that by picking every single piece they place from that single catalog, they automatically are making a kind of compatible environment and focal point and context and everything. Yeah, but it's not really like that because sometimes they can differentiate in color, and this also limits you because you're limiting yourself from only using decorations from that specific catalog.
Yep.
I started by only using Oricon decorations, for example, and I think that's evident from my dojo as well.
Yep. I think on every tour I've said young dojo decorators or like newer decorators are like they're like magpies to the Orokin tab. Like they see something shiny and they're like, "Ooh, must have," and then they ignore all the other tabs as well. So they just start taking the shiny treasure back, and then like, "Oh, look at my really unique nest I've built." And then every raven in the tree or magpie has the exact same nest, and they're all going, "Oh, we're all so unique." So yeah, that's pretty much right.
I was weird where I gravitated, like when I first started to Grenier stuff mostly.
Yeah. Grenier stuff is the most underappreciated and underutilized tab, in my opinion. I love it. Yeah, Mad specifically now just builds in it as well. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I'll give him that. Right, Shorks, where are we going to next? Or are we
all right, I left this last room to the end, especially for you, Faith. It's the first room, by Hooting.
By Hooting. All right, let's go. Oh, for the love of God.
Yep, I can see it.
Oh my God, ow.
My eyes!
Oh, Jesus Christ.
To be fair, the sculpt is not bad. It's just that it's all ice.
It's a wee bit cold in here, Faith. Can you turn up the heat?
I just don't know what to say, guys. Just, every time there's ice, it's just... you guys are just jelly. I'm just convinced. Yep.
I mean, is it ice?
The console is here at the back, by the way.
There we go. I mean, again, it's a starter hall. It's like, I think this is the starter room, or like for the next clan greater hall.
Yeah, it's one of the clan halls, yeah.
Yep. Well, that's all we had. I'm going to plonk it in there. Oh, it's next to the
Yeah, it'll be the greater hall, because it doesn't have the...
what is the build of? Is it like a... Where's a big, like, cat? It's like a panther.
Yeah,
like
big panther, yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the old anime Zoids. God, that's really old.
You know what? Like, as the ice champion of dojo decorating, if they would have covered the entire thing with ice and then built a separate environment and then coloured the ice black, they could have actually just made a Black Panther. The head is actually very good. I will give the head. The head is actually good.
Exactly.
I just think they need to commit to the one theme, because they're like, okay, how can we have this like almost ethereal Orokin, half ice, half Orokin, like looking like bridge between the two, yeah. Because the middle of the body kind of is like odd. So yeah.
Yeah, at the very least, they could have lessened the use of the ice in the mask. Maybe made it more Orokin in that sense, if they wanted to stick with this specific theme. Instead of using so much ice. And that would make the build pop.
Yeah, again, it's about contrast, because when I built Leviathan or the Pokemon build or whatever I made, I always made sure the mask was separate from the focal point to kind of like bring forth what you're looking at. So yeah, again, like with something like this with a theme, I get it's an icy like build, and I would be in a cave, but you could have just used the Venus rocks instead to create a darker environment where that still has snow in it, which still provides a different contrast. But again, it's easy. So the folly of most decorators is that they like to just use the same pieces repeatedly in the same build. And this clan, I think, like, so again, if it's the last room, to summarize what we've seen, a clan likes building focal points, and I love that. They've not hidden away from actually trying to sculpt. They've blended most of their items with the mask and the focal point. As well, and they love Gundams and animals and stuff like that. So they've done a really good effort with their sculpting. Just need to take it to the next level to, like everyone can do, to like just really hone down. But yeah, like the blending is crazy. Like they just need to find a way to separate the mask from the focal point, and their builds would look significantly better from it. Like for example, the build we saw, the best the final version of the Black Gundam that we saw, which had a contrasting mask and build, was their best build by a shadow of a mile.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I mean, this build is good. Again, if I had it my way with this, and again being the ice champion, I'd have covered it and given it a separate mask as well. I mean, this room is hard to build in, so I give them credit, because these Tenno rooms are trash. DE, let me get rid of these goddamn pillars, and they might be useful.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering the capacity, I can tell that, like, basically they have zero capacity left, right?
This
so I can tell
room,
they wanted some big ice pieces to cover up the rest.
this room is, I think, 1,000 capacity. And then the other Tenno Hall, which just has the pillars, is 800.
No, really? They're different?
Yeah, they're
aren't
different.
They both,
no,
aren't they
they're
both
different.
800?
They're different. Because in Annora, I have them both built because my layout sucked and I kind of committed to it because I had all my good builds at the very top, so I couldn't purge them. So when I started building in these, so this is the Tenno Greater Hall, and then there's the Grand Hall, and the Grand Hall is the one that has the stairs that go up. So this is just the Greater Hall.
Yeah.
So the Greater Hall, this room here with the Ice Panther, is 800 capacity, and I learned that the hard way when I built my wolf in there. Yeah. So by the way, this very similar build, like I had a wolf pretty much where their panther is, but I just built it differently and stuff like that. So yeah, equivalent theories, but that's all you can really do with this room is build something in the middle and just mask around it the best you can. And then the Greater Hall, the one that has the stairs that go up, is 1,000 capacity. So there's a 200 cap difference. So yeah.
I see.
Yep.
Why are they all so low?
They're just starter rooms. But again, this was very beginning early, and I don't think they paid too much about capacity. And then when they introduced the open spaces, any halls that came out with it, like the Galleon Chamber, the Uranus Chamber, all of that, Intrati, they all just had 1,600 cap, yeah. Which is
back then they didn't really expect the community to take decorating to such lengths. So once they discovered the potential, basically, they started just giving us more cap with the newer rooms.
Yeah, I mean, it shows that they can give more cap. So yeah, I mean, again, my big wish list would be Deviri or 1999 style rooms that I want them to add in the next update with like double capacity, which they can do. It's just if they're brave enough to give us that. I would just imagine some of the rooms we could do a 3,200 capacity. Like, even one room with 10,000 cap is still my dream. Just give me that. One massive room.
What, like an entire city?
Yes, that's the point. I just want one room with like enough capacity for me to lose track of what I'm doing. Again here, like we talked about this before, like on a previous stream about the builds we would make. I said I'd like to build the Horus Sanguinius and Horus beat down on the Vengeful Spirit when the famous 40k photo. That'd be my dream build, but the capacity is not there for me to do on an open space room. To do 3 scops and the ship would be insane. So yeah.
I have an uncommon opinion.
Uncommon?
You stand on the chandelier above the cat. Kind of looks like an ice pelican in 3.
Oh, it kind of does a little bit. Just because if you look down, it looks like burb. Yep.
Oh my god, it kind of does.
See?
Yeah. Anyway, is there any other rooms we just want to tinker in to kind of like culminate?
How many more rooms do you want to do?
Not as far as I've seen. I think that's all.
I think the rest might be just work in progresses, to be fair, because the teleporter's a mess. I don't know what's what, so yeah, who knows? I mean, I always like checking out their dry dock as well to see if they've got anything. Yeah. We always
there is one more room.
We always check the dry dock in the tours. I don't know why. Like it's just for one room that for some reason because it's the focal point. Yeah, it's just like a corpus mask that they've done for their previous builds as well. So I don't think there's much there to look at. Yeah.
I mean, I just assumed you did it because.
Okay, let's go to that one final room. We'll wrap up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it's the last one. Yeah, Xiao Feng Cheng, however you pronounce that.
It'd be Chow. Yeah.
It's nothing much, but I think it might be worth a look at.
Oh, it's their treehouse.
It's basically the first idea. Yeah, it's the first idea you get after seeing this room, basically.
Yeah, I by the way, this again is like the build you see in all the dojos. This is very similar to the build you see. Like, I mean, even I had a build like this in Annora at one point of a treehouse city in the forest room as well. Yeah, like people always think, oh, Forest of Endor and cool tree houses on this, so they just stick to that theme. Really, yeah. I mean, there's nothing crazy about it because it's just more like the aesthetic of building something around a tree. That's it, really. I mean, again, so I don't know who decorates in this dojo. I don't know if there's different decorators and stuff like that, so I can't unfortunately give credit unless they reach out and tell us who made these rooms or if there's build credit. So, so they could have had different decorators building different rooms and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's just a treehouse and stuff like that. Like, they're cool, but there's nothing really special about them in terms of, like, compared to the other
I just
stuff
like
that
how
we've
they
seen,
used the bottom. Yeah, I just like how they use the bottom. There's also like an underground area as well here.
Yeah. In our alliance, House of Silence have a near identical room to this. Again, I don't. If they're not copies, because it's just people have the same idea with this room to build like hidden cities and like the aesthetic. Like the issue is like with this room, the room has such a cool aesthetic. I just wish that tree in the middle was gone, and it would open up the real build potential of this room.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is annoying, but yeah. But yeah, they're just one cap houses, yeah. Rayo, by the way, is apparently giving you a strike in the chat, and I don't know why he's giving you a strike. So, I haven't seen any strikes. So, Rayo, that's overruled. Your appeal has been denied.
Wait,
so, yeah.
who's being struck?
Rayo's striking Shorky for something, so God knows why. But yeah, but no, I think that really concludes what we can see in this tour. I mean, I just like Fear said that there's not much new decor scene, so I don't know how long they've built, or if they are building, if they're just using the same pieces historically and stuff like that. So yeah, so would be interested to see them use some of the newer pieces for future builds, especially because if you are from the Windy City and you can understand this, like some of the new Entrati Lab stuff would be perfect for the aesthetic you have with some of those big golden Gundam mechs as well. So yeah, would be interested to see what you could make with some of the new stuff. But yeah, like, so for me again, we did a recap. They've done focal points. They do room masks. They've got big sculpts. So like it's a worthy dojo to be winning awards because they do everything right to win awards as well. Just need to ramp up that quality to push for the All-Star and stuff like that. Pretty much, that's all any dojo can hope for. But no, it's lovely. My favorite. I'll ask everyone for their favorite room, which is what we do at the end. Like, I think we all know what it is. I really like the what was it, Shorky? We'll go to that one. Was it?
Let me check.
Was it Jujuan? Oh no, that's the sword.
I think it's Zongquan.
Shongquan.
I think that's the one with the extra hand, right?
Yeah, the big hand. Yep.
Yep, this is the one.
Shongquan. I can't find it. Is it Zhao Feng
In the middle of the wrist. No, Zongquan.
I don't think we came in here.
We did. It's the one with the
Zong.
with the good masking.
ZHONG. So on the
yes,
teleporter, it's like 8th down. Yep.
Yeah.
Starts
underneath
with the Z.
Tianchen.
Yep.
Start with Tianchen, exactly.
Yeah. So this was my favorite build. Yep. I think I speak for all of us to say this is the best build. Yep.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Very much so. Yeah. Nah, very good.
Either I have actually the worst memory ever, or I don't think I came in here.
No, we did.
So, if I recall, this was when the cat apparently sabotaged Evie's glasses and threw them away, and she couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wasn't in this room when that happened.
Well, Evie, you have to be paying attention.
Oh no.
No, like I actually wasn't.
You can't be going full metal on us and just being like, "Wait, where are we?"
Give me a second. I have to find the room we were in. Well, I was in, apparently.
1 down on the teleport.
It's 8th down, so it starts with Z.
I know the room we're on about. I'm looking for the room I was actually in when the thing happened.
Oh, so we were talking about this room and you were talking about something else going, I agree. Yeah, great point.
Well, that kind of just says something to the fact that all of their rooms are the fucking same.
Evie. We'll forgive you. It's fine. Metal got lost on the Spectrum tour like all the time. I didn't even know where he was for all of it. He was just doing his own thing. Yep.
Yeah, be honest, I was.
Yep. Just wandering around.
In the room where I started going on about feet, is it?
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yep. But no, it was one after. It was one after. Yep.
I was gonna say I was in the room above this when that happened. Yep. I'm pretty sure I was in the room above this.
Yeah, he's got
when Lily dropped my glasses in the bin.
But yeah, but no, this was definitely their best room. Again, I think like worthy of their place on the dojo comparison to everyone else's time. We'd just love to see some newer builds from them as well to get them to push up and stuff like that. So yeah, if you are from the Windy City, like we like the dojo, we think it's great. Just need to see variety because it's the same build, but you've perfected it here for that build. I mean, the only way they can do it is just make it bigger, and at that point, I can't see why it would be better. So yeah, so very good here.
I would say they should explore the possibilities with actual references like Gundams or Transformers or whatever, because sticking to a reference will force them to use different kinds of decorations to achieve the exact look.
Yeah.
And for their strengths, I think they would do a great job with it.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I think they could build a classic white Gundam very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Because most of their builds, to be fair, could just capacity allow it. They could just all fit in the same room.
I don't think capacity is the issue. Yeah. By the way, Rayo, the title is called The Windy City. I don't know if it's just not updated on the stream channel. So yeah, so it's definitely we are definitely in the Windy City. Yes.
It was on there. Double checked.
Bobe would like to call you out, Evian said at least they have rooms with builds. So yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yep. It's hard when you have nothing to back up with. Yep. But yeah. All right. Any final comments, gentlemen, ladies, before we sign off?
Yeah. I spent way too much money on Warhammer.
That's not really a comment about the dojo, but thank you. Yep. Yep. Shorky?
Not from me. I think I've already said everything.
Yeah. No, very good dojo. So yeah, if they'll still be on the star chart for probably the next week or something. I don't know.
Yeah, for another week.
For another week, yeah. Yeah, they join me and Sea of Titans from our alliance on the star chart. So yeah. No, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you, chat, as well. And yeah, hopefully it's been a good time. Sorry for the technical delays. Metal had to basically learn everything. Yeah, but we'll be back with more dojo soon. Either, well, if we do the Annora roast again, I can just invite people in, or we'll just wait for the next rotation. But I think based on the next rotation, we have artistic license Dizzy's clan to come up to tour, because that'll be the last time we have a chance to go view that dojo. So it would be good to go in and tour all of Dizzy's work. And I can't remember who else was on that, but I'm missing a clan I want to go to. Oh, the Lava Lizard as well, the All-Star winner, along with Shorky as well. So we'll go in and see those dojos on the next rotation. And no, thank you for everyone for joining us. Have a good evening. And if you're a decorator or want to keep building, keep on building. Right, bye everyone.
See ya.
Bye.